Hello and welcome to what is going to be a sort of unique video for Chattery. I'm here today to talk about Call of Duty, specifically Black Ops 6, the game that is being revealed today from when I'm recording this video. At this time of me recording this, the Xbox Showcase event has ended, the reveal trailer is out, and the Xbox, or the direct showcase that was happening after the Xbox event for Black Ops 6 is also finished, so I'm going to react to those two videos and discuss them. My relationship with Call of Duty is complicated. I used to be a very big fan of it, but it has definitely fallen off in the past few years. I haven't played the last 3 games. Black Ops Cold War was the last one I played, which I liked very much, and I'm definitely a Treyarch fanboy at heart. Because Zombies is the reason that I love Call of Duty, or I loved Call of Duty at least, and I still play the older games. But I know Zombies is apparently returning triumphantly in this game. I've been following the leaks for this game, that there are apparently 2 maps coming and they're round-based, but I don't know anything else about it besides that. Hopefully we're going to get something about Zombies in this direct, and more than just campaign, which is usually what they focus on during the early reveals, the early promotion materials for the games. But I'm very interested. I definitely wouldn't say I'm hyped. You know, it takes a lot for me to get excited about a Call of Duty game now, since it seems like they really do just recycle it year after year. But if anybody's going to impress me, it's going to be Treyarch. So without further ado, let's get into the reveal trailer.
Good evening. The Soviet Union.
Good evening.
No more. Despite a potential for instability and chaos, these events clearly serve our national interests.
Oh, this is already very similar to the Cold War reveal trailer, which started with Reagan. Here we get HW.
Today we celebrate the mystery of American
Clinton. Yeah.
Something's going on. Something big.
What is this song? This is going to have to be muted, I'm sure, in the video, but weird song. Oh, there he is, Gold Russ. Easily one of the best Black Ops characters. Okay. I'm getting the vibes of that one mission Black Ops Cold War where you went undercover with Adler in, like, the Soviet, I don't know, embassy or something. That was a really, really cool mission. One of the most unique in Call of Duty.
Don't trust anyone.
This must be our character from the cover art. The truth lies. Okay, that's that I've been hearing about this new movement system. That must be it. You can dive backwards and shit. I do not like this song, I'm sorry. I'm a fire starter.
May God continue to bless the United States of America.
Pre-order the Vault Edition.
Oh yeah.
The Hunters versus Hunted Operator.
Brutus, Klaus. I can't believe Klaus is going back. That's so good. And Gobblegums. Yep. Yeah, I saw that the Vault Edition leak when that came out. Gosh, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. So that was interesting. Definitely not the most impressive Call of Duty reveal I've ever seen. It was very run of the mill. Excuse me. But that's fine. It's it's just meant to show the sort of spectacle of a Call of Duty campaign. Those reveal trailers, they never really give you more. They don't really give you an insight into the gameplay or anything. It's just the campaign cinematic side. It looked good. Adler's back, and the missions themselves. I mean, I don't know if I was meant to interpret it this way, but they look kind of like stealthy and a bit more like I mentioned that mission from Cold War, which was awesome. And that there was a mission in World War II where you also infiltrated like a Nazi base and you went undercover. You had like different options to do it, which I think is really cool. And in the Cold War one, you could like poison people and different ways to take people out, and it was very unique. And because Call of Duty campaigns are usually just run and gun sort of things, but I think they have actually tried to innovate recently with campaigns. But again, I haven't played the last 3 Call of Duties, so I can't really speak to those. But yeah, for the trailer as a whole, hasn't really got me any more excited. I wasn't expecting it to, but hopefully this direct showcase afterwards will give a more interesting insight into the game and the development of it. So let's get into it. Visually, it looks great. I mean, that's never been an issue really with modern Call of Duty. They've always looked very impressive.
Hello and welcome to Treyarch in Los Angeles, and thanks for joining us today.
Mark Gordon, okay. So obviously, if he's the new studio head, last I knew it was Jason Blundell and Dan Bunting who were studio heads, and they've since stepped down.
I've been working here for over 20 years, and I can tell you that we have something special on our hands with Black Ops 6. And I know that the team are excited to
I hope so, Mark.
dive into our campaign.
I've never seen you before, though, I don't think, even though you've been there for 20 years. It looks a lot like Cold War, which is a good thing. I was concerned it was going to look too much like a Modern Warfare game since it's on that new engine. But no, it looks like Black Ops has very saturated colors and stuff.
And forcing players to go rogue for the first time to fight the very machine that created them. The team is
going rogue, so the players are going rogue. I know that Adler is on the run, so I guess you're sort of working with Adler, maybe? Maybe he was framed for something? Oh, Miles. He's been in these trailers since Black Ops 2. Maybe even earlier, actually.
You'll see a sneak peek of that later today. Round-based zombies is absolutely back and better than
round-based.
And you can be sure it's full of surprises. With that, let's step into the mind.
My biggest concern, you know, something that really annoys me is that we didn't have a dedicated crew in Cold War, and I really hope, I don't think they're bringing one in, but I would really like one. I'm assuming it's just going to be operators, though, which I don't like that at all.
We're giving you more variety, more dynamic moment-to-moment gameplay, and more options to finish each mission.
We can do this loud or quiet.
Yeah, this is cool, but it's kind of all more the same, you know, different options, different paths. I mean, the more they push that, the more unique it becomes and more interesting, for sure, but they never really pushed it to a level where it really does feel like a unique experience. Maybe that's going to change.
When we talk about the Black Ops timeline, Black Ops 6 comes after the events of the Cold War, but is directly tied to the 1986 flashbacks in Black Ops 2, the aftermath of which has
that's kind of what I assumed. So does that mean... So is Mason going to be... Okay, Woods is in a wheelchair, but is Mason going to be alive or dead? Hudson's dead. Because Mason, it depends on... He could survive or he could die in Black Ops 2, depending on if you shot him in the leg or in the head.
In this new chapter, we see a different side of Woods following his traumatic injury at the hands of Raul Menendez. He's been pulled from the field as he adjusts to a new role within the CIA, often behind a desk or on the other end of a radio.
Okay. So he's going to be talking in your ear. That's going to be pretty cool.
Who's been making a name for himself in the field. Marshall is a reluctant leader driven by a strong moral compass.
Okay, so this must be the main character, Troy Marshall. The guy on the cover art. I think he's the guy who's being played by the actor from The Purge that I saw was announced recently, and I don't remember his name, but that's cool.
Without any of their usual resources, they have to build their own team, recruiting two exciting new characters in Felix Newman, a technical genius, and Savati Dima, a mysterious assassin.
So this is not so different from in Black Ops Cold War, where Adler had his own little team, but obviously they were working on the books. Now it's like a rogue team of CIA agents and a handler, and I guess Adler's going to be helping them out. Cool. I like the idea of going rogue.
Where we have different combat styles, we also have conversation opportunities where you can talk, barter, and manipulate your way into different experiences. And we think
that's cool. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Something different. So they're adding more things that add to replayability. So there's different ways to approach people, talk to them, barter with them. So this is what I mean. Another layer of that experience that can vary depending on, from game to game.
we've created certain missions where we give you a high-level objective and a variety of ways to approach that objective. One mission in particular takes place in a vast desert in Iraq. You and your team are hunting down missile launchers with the SAS.
So it sounds like maybe this campaign is a little less story-driven and more like objective and slightly more open world. He's talking about they give you an objective and then you can just do whatever you want. So it's not, obviously not so linear, but surely there's more like story impact with what you do, I hope. Maybe that's the branching path sort of thing.
We are excited to offer an array of brand new equipment, as well as some favorites from the Black Ops universe. RCXD. Tranquilizer Trap.
Tranquilizer Trap? That's not a Black Ops universe favorite. Homing knife?
Disruptor.
Oh yeah, that's very, very 1990s. What the fuck?
The campaign is grounded within an expanded campaign hub called the Safe House.
Okay.
You might remember
So that was in Black Ops
we
Cold
also
War.
had
Yeah.
that in Black Ops
Which
Cold
was a really cool little feature. And they also had it in Black Ops 3. But it was more special in Black Ops Cold War because you could interact with the different characters and stuff, which was cool.
What's most unique is that it used to be a KGB black site, which was operational during the 50s and 60s.
It's bizarre that they're going this in-depth into the Safe House, but cool. I mean, it's nice that they're giving a lot of personality.
The evidence board, which is still the centerpiece of the Safe House experience, but with brand new upgrades. Players can view the campaign outline, gain deeper insight.
Graphics do look really, really good. Like I said, that's never been an issue with Call of Duty. They've always kept up to date.
That was sick. Great.
It is cool that they're showing so much behind-the-scenes stuff, you know. Usually you don't get this right out the gate. And, you know, this game has been in development for 4 years, so it better be pretty polished. So maybe that's why they're not so afraid to show the building blocks. Okay, so here's the new movement. Diving backwards.
Movement has been a consistent area of focus and innovation for Call of Duty. And with Black Ops 6, we're
That's pretty cool.
movement across.
This is really going to change it up, man. This is going to be like... It's going to totally change how people play COD now. Sprinting in any direction. Omni movement.
This unlocks the ability to move like never before and seamlessly chain combat maneuvers like slide, dive, and our enhanced supine prone in full 360 degrees range of...
Well, that's been a thing in Battlefield for ages, the 360 prone. But I don't know of another first-person shooter where it has movement where you can sprint in any direction, dive in any direction. So this is pretty surprisingly innovative for Call of Duty, I have to say. It's cool that they're showing like the test levels and stuff. I've never seen that for a Call of Duty game. Usually they try to hide the behind the scenes a bit, pull the veil over it.
We truly believe that once you experience Omni movement, there's no going back.
They're showing a lot of multiplayer gameplay. I can see it looks very much like Cold War, which I like Cold War multiplayer, so it's not a problem for me. But obviously the Omni movement, that's totally unique.
We also have what we're calling intelligent movement, which is a set of features that drastically reduces how many buttons or keys you're pressing to perform various movements.
What? Intelligent movement? I don't understand.
We want every player, regardless of skill level or input or experience with Call of Duty, to be able to engage with Omni movement and live out their own action hero fantasy in Black Ops 6.
That was so fucking cool. This is going to be a make it or break it thing. This is either going to be so cool and new and fresh, or it's going to be a total mess, and it's going to totally break how Call of Duty is played. I don't know. I'm optimistic, though. It looks really good.
Hit zones are regions on a character that react when taking damage or dying. In past games, we've only had 4 regions. For Black Ops 6, we've actually increased that to 9 regions, so now we can determine if that enemy was shot in their left leg or right leg, and then we'll play a bespoke death animation depending on that location that they were hit.
Okay, but so there's 9 hit zones for new animations, but is that going to affect... Does that mean there's 9 different damage hit zones too? So it's going to be... Or is it just going to be the same 4 regions?
Through our process of photogrammetry, gear was acquired, scanned, and incorporated onto each of our operatives. Core Faces, a dynamic real-time analysis of spontaneous performances was captured and processed.
Wow, this is... I've never seen so much behind-the-scenes stuff for the Call of Duty game. It's wild. It really is crazy how much effort goes into these games.
The thing that I'm most excited about is the number of new weapons from the era.
Oh, Max Porter.
Added, which includes many that are brand new to the franchise.
He's been around in Treyarch for ages. Porter's X2 ray gun. That's his.
And it allowed us to pull a unique mix of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but it's like, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of guns from Cold War, you know, and guns we've seen before in Call of Duty, M16, M4, you know, which is fine.
The Black Ops 6 user experience is all about focusing players on what they need when they need it, and our in-game HUD is no different. From the mini-map to the ammo widget to in-game notifications.
Yeah, looks like Black Ops. The HUD looks like straight out of Black Ops 1.
For the first time in Call of Duty, players will be able to change their HUD and
okay.
to suit their needs. For instance,
this should have been a thing for so long. Customizable HUD like this. I don't know why it took so long for them to implement it, but it's about time. But that's very cool. But I'm sure I will just use it as the default classic HUD, but it's very cool that they finally have that.
Looking back through the Call of Duty and Black Ops catalog, there's a lot of love, both internally at Treyarch and that we see in our community, for how we used to handle Prestige.
So that means that the classic Prestige system is back and not the seasonal crap?
Call of Duty with Black Ops 6. We've pulled the best of the best from past Call of Duty.
That's something that's never really bothered me. I don't really care about that, but I do think the progression is much better in a simplistic way where you get to level 55 or 50 or whatever, reset. It just feels much better, but it was just way too confusing with the seasonal stuff that they've been doing. At least in Cold War. I don't know. I'm assuming it's been the same since Cold War.
Players who make it through Prestige 10 aren't done.
Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, classic emblems.
Master with 1,000 additional levels to climb through.
Okay, yep. So that's the same system as Black Ops 3, right? You had the 10 prestiges and then you can go to 1,000 afterwards. Perfectly good system. Don't know. I never understood why they changed it.
Our vision since day one has been to craft an approachable and engaging step change of that signature Black Ops multiplayer experience. We focused on supporting 3 core playstyles for launch. Enforcers are the slayers who like to kill and stay on the move. Recon is all about intel and...
They have to name all the different player types. What are they going to call the campers? Oh, the campers are the Sentinels. I remember that being a controversial thing. That I think that was mono for 2019. They talked about that.
Through that lens of supporting these playstyles.
Because they were supporting the campers.
Black Ops game if you can't relive those action hero moments in theater mode, which we're happy to announce is returning
theater mode?
Black Ops 6.
I don't really use it that much, but I'm sure it's a great thing to have for people that like making montages and edits and stuff like that. I mean, it's a very, very cool thing. Oh,
we've covered a lot today,
Kevin Drew,
but couldn't leave you without giving you just one more
Zombies
thing.
time. Fat zombie. What the fuck is that? Okay. I saw Weaver there. Is that our crew?
We're excited to announce that there will be 2 brand new maps, available.
Yeah, so all the leaks were true, I'm sure.
Mix of fan favorite features and new elements to discover.
I see those gumballs on the table there. Kevin, you're not slick.
As you've heard today, the innovations in movement systems will also be coming to Zombies. Plus,
I mean, that's not surprising, but it's going to be weird.
Features, both new and returning.
I guess I'm sure those movement systems are in campaign too. I didn't even think about that, but I'm sure it's across the whole game. So I guess, is that going to be in Warzone too then?
Make sure to stay tuned for details and watch your favorite streamers get hands-on Black Ops 6 so you can be prepped and ready to jump into our MP beta and feel Omni movement for yourself. We'll be sharing so much more about Black Ops 6.
There's going to be a lot of people snaking around on the ground. It's gonna cause some crazy moments. Totally different engagements.
Across our weapons, gear, operators, maps, and more, a huge push has been to hit the highest visual and audio fidelity possible.
Okay, a lot of the usual schlock. We're trying to push the envelope this year, but it actually seems like they are doing that, and I'm pleasantly surprised by how much they're changing, and even a lot that they're bringing back. And sort of returning to their roots. There's like somebody sliding in like every clip. Okay, so I just quickly read through the blog posts on the Call of Duty website and Treyarch's Twitter, and they did confirm that there is a dedicated crew for zombies, the thing I was just bitching about, which is amazing. And I'm just I know it's just a little thing to be, so petty about, petulant about. But I really do think that's something that makes or breaks a zombies experience for me, or just about, because I did enjoy Cold Wars a lot. But that was honestly, that was the most impressive Call of Duty reveal I've ever seen. And I know that's not really saying much, because usually Call of Duty reveals are whatever, and they're sort of the same year in, year out. But that one, it really feels like they had a lot to show, because the game, this is the longest development period a Call of Duty game's ever gotten, 4 years about. And it seems like they're really proud to show off all everything they've done, and it seems like they've really done a lot. Obviously, the big thing is this Omni movement, which is just going to totally change Call of Duty from the inside. I mean, I would compare this innovation to, I guess, Advanced Warfare's movement from Ghost. The introduction of the exosuit, total 180 as far as how you play the game. And I think this is going to be a similar thing, but I think this is going to be a bit more of a natural progression, because it is just, you can move more directions rather than, you can start flying around. So I think it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to totally change how most players play it, hopefully in a good way. I think it looks like it's something they really tried and tested, and they talked about this intelligent movement where you can tweak it so it sort of does stuff for you, and I don't really know how that's going to work, but it looks like they're really focusing on fluidity and adding a bit more realism to how you move, and not so restrictive, which I think is very cool. The multiplayer, didn't really learn that much about it. 16 multiplayer maps, cool. More variety, great. I think it'll be very interesting to play the beta. I'm sure I'll be doing that. And zombies we got the least of, but zombies is what I care about the most. We're getting a crew, which is the thing I wanted the most. 2 maps, phenomenal. I know Gobblegums are returning. That was a leaked thing. But yeah, I think that's eased my concerns about zombies, which they weren't really that severe, but I'm glad that they are, they're saying round-based is back, the triumphant return of round-based. It should never have left, but the fact that it's back is great, and there's a crew, and it's going to feel like zombies again, and not just like a weird side mode from multiplayer like Cold Wars kind of felt. Even though Cold Wars was very good, I stand by Cold War having possibly the best gameplay in zombies, but it was just missing some of those core zombies things that make it feel like a COD Zombies experience by Treyarch, and this seems like it's going to have them. But on a whole, I am seriously impressed, and I did not think I was going to be, I was thinking they're going to pull out a lot of stops, to impress me for a Call of Duty reveal, and they have. But it doesn't mean, I'm almost concerned by that, thinking maybe there is something that's so bad about the game, that it looks so good. There has to be a monkey's paw sort of thing going on, but maybe it is going to be. Call of Duty has never had this much time to to develop, so maybe this is what Call of Duty looks like when they really are given the time and they're not crunched to death. And maybe Activision will learn their lesson from this, and Microsoft obviously owns Activision. Hey, if you let the developers work on it, their passion comes through, and they innovate and they make a really good game, and rather than just the same thing recycled. And if this is what it takes to prove that, then I'm all for it. And I'm all for. I will support Treyarch. I think they're a great studio. I think they're taken advantage of. Honestly, all the Call of Duty studios are. That's just how it is. Not that I'm not a member of them. I don't work for them, but it just seems like that way from the outside. But it seems like they're very proud of this game, and hopefully that's well founded. But let me know what you think of the Black Ops 6 reveal. Are you excited for it? Were you going to pre-order it before this? Has this changed your mind? It certainly changed mine. How do you feel about Call of Duty as a whole? Have you been playing Call of Duty nonstop? You've been playing the recent games, and this is sort of just continuing on business as usual, or are you like me, where you sort of fallen out of favor, and this has sort of piqued your attention? But let me know. Let's get the conversation going. As always, let's talk about all these new features, all these new things. Zombies, of course, my favorite thing. But yeah, let's talk about it. lots to talk about before the game launched October 25th. So let's do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. You know what to do, and I will see you next time.